Ahoy, fellow lobe strokers.
And welcome aboard The Joy of Trek, a syrupy podcast exploring the eliminators and vagrants of Star Trek, all of it. I'm Kaki.
I'm Kay.
And being held hostage is your chief engineer, Greg.
Together, we're on a mission through the weekend at Bernie's of Star Trek to find the phaser burn in every VOTA and the excellence in every episode.
Even the tilted space stations.
Because every episode must be someone's favorite, and it might as well be us.
So take a wrong turn into Cisco's office and join us as we lurch into The Joy of Trek. Ba 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 ba.
It's the jazzed up version of the theme song, the later seasons. Yeah.
I wish I knew the theme song to, like, The Magnificent Seven or The Seven Samurai.
Right, yes.
Which the writers insist absolutely wasn't the basis for this episode, but...
Then what?
Yeah, I know.
And with a name like that?
I know. Because we're talking about Deep Space Nine, Season 6, Episode 10, The Magnificent Ferengi.
Yes, it was. Oh, I don't know what happened to
An itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini.
I did not see that.
She wore for the first time today.
I did know that Quark had 6 outfit changes in this episode.
Oh, I hadn't even paid attention. That's amazing.
On a whim, I started to like making tally marks to every time. Not 6 different outfits, but 6 different outfit changes. Sometimes he switches back to an outfit that he wore earlier in the episode. But so, who recommended this episode to us?
Well, The Magnificent Ferengi, which first aired on May 14th, 1993, written by Ira Stephen Behr and Hans Beimler and directed by Chip Chalmers, was recommended by Tana, who said, "Sometimes Trek takes the serious gloves off and just has a fun romp, and this may be one of the best examples."
Very true, yes. I mean, absolutely. CBR calls it as in the top 20 funniest episodes of Star Trek.
Yes. Yeah, top 20 doesn't even seem like this has got to be higher, right?
I think, well, it's in the top 20. I mean, Jammer's review says it's, in a nutshell, it's a silly, a slight, and extremely low on plausibility, but a fresh and enjoyable comic piece nonetheless.
Yeah.
Screen Rant calls it the 3rd best Nog episode.
Ooh.
And Geek.com has it as essential watching in their DS9 binge watching guide.
Oh, excellent.
So, yes, absolutely an episode that is memorable.
Because
and quotable, I guess.
Yes, absolutely, even though we kind of struggled to get it from the quotes.
True. Yeah.
But hey, Kay, what happens in this episode?
Yeah,
how do you describe that to your audience?
A couple of Ferengi go out to a copy of Terek Nor to do a slave trade.
Ooh, okay, yeah. Even grimmer than your usual perspective. And Chief, what is the official synopsis for those of you who may not remember The Magnificent Ferengi?
When Quark's mother, Ishka, is captured by the Dominion, Quark, Rom, and Nog lead a team of Ferengi into a meeting on Empok Nor with Kevin as their payment.
Thank you. Oh, what a wonderful episode this was. Because as Tana says, like, taking the serious gloves off is, I mean, it's partly right. Because the best comedies, the ones that you remember as a comedy, also, like, have some deep emotional...
Right.
Content to them and some character growth, without which...
I don't think there's a lot of character growth in this episode, but...
not overt.
Yeah.
But I think the sort of concept of heroism and the courage that the brothers Quark and Rom find in themselves, Nog discovering that the training that worked on him as a cadet...
Right. Does not work on any of the other Ferengi.
Right.
They're more set in their ways, I guess. He was like probably still impressionable enough that it could take. Plus, he was highly motivated to join Starfleet, whereas all these other guys are just like being themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he's learned about one really effective form of leadership, and he hasn't yet discovered that there are many, many more that he needs to learn.
Yes.
And this is his path toward that.
So, do we have any warp cores?
No, I don't think so. No. I'm trying to think of like egregious examples of like social injustices that may be occurring.
No more than usual.
No, not when you're dealing with the Ferengi.
All right. In that case.
This is going so smoothly.
Are we forgetting something?
You've got to say doubt, right?
Wait, have we forgotten any segment?
This usually takes us way longer.
It's not like that time that we forgot to do the recommendation or anything.
No, we did the recommendation.
Yeah, I know.
Tana got right then.
Yeah.
A real quick mention because
I mean, this is like. I mean, okay. I mean, it's not definitely a warm, but it's clearly a bit of. I mean, I wouldn't call it a filler episode, but it's a bottle episode.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's all
yeah,
done on the... It's like they cheap out, basically, by like, oh, we're going to have this prisoner exchange on an exact copy of DS9. So we can just use all the regular sets. We just have to clutter them up a little bit, and it'll be fine. We don't have to change anything, and it's...
But you got like 5 guest actors. All
Sure.
of them with prosthetics, 5, 6, 7. Actually, now I'm thinking they've got multiple days of work. They've got more than 5
Don't
lines.
forget the Jem'Hadar, because like that's a good question. How many Jem'Hadar were there at any given time? I don't think we ever see more than 6.
Except in that one shot, that one
but they
panning
could double
shot.
that off.
Might have done.
Yeah, because
I
I don't think there's more than 6 guys in actual Jem'Hadar makeup. But
so yeah, like it's not as cheap as a bottle show because one of the great when you do a bottle show, you usually want to use just your regular actors,
right?
Because you've already paid them.
True,
but they're getting paid per episode.
No, okay, fair enough.
Whether you use them or not.
Yeah, which is I guess why the standard the regular crew has very minor pieces in it. We see all of them, but they only have like a few lines each.
Oh yeah,
and it's like you guys can go on vacation or shoot another episode.
I wonder
or
if that
whatever.
was the case. I wonder if like the rest of the crew went like off to Cabo for a week and just left the Ferengi behind to make a fantastic episode.
Oh yes. So we open to.
Yes, we have now successfully extended the intro to the point where we usually regret how long it has taken. So well done, us.
So it opens with Quark proudly barging into his own bar. He has some help carrying 2 crates, and it's 3 cases, although you only see 2 on screen, of syrup of squill. I
love syrup of squill on my road cakes, but I haven't seen a jar in over a year.
Because it turns out that the consortium is basically stockpiling. They're just like not putting out any syrup of squill. I really wonder what is a squill. I mean, could be plant-based.
I learned about this in my research. Let's see if I've got those notes handy. Phrases syrup of squill and hippocat root futures are taken from the 1934 Norman Z. MacLeod movie, It's a Gift, starring comedian W.C. Fields.
Okay.
So, like, they're deep cuts, like Ira Stephen Behr loves to do.
Yeah. I mean, this is entirely filler, I guess. There's nothing in this scene which has any bearing on the rest of the episode.
I think thematically, this is about like Quark feeling overshadowed by the heroism of other cultures.
Okay, yeah,
right,
sure.
Because he proudly announces to his audience how clever he's been and how he figured out that this drought was a ruse, and there is some, as per this Gif, excited murmuring.
Yes.
No.
What does excited murmuring sound like?
There we go.
For everyone who can afford it.
And then he's about to launch into a news story now that he's got all these people looking at him. But then...
Dax, Julian.
The crew shows up.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to talk about what they did, but after the debriefing, it's okay.
Yeah, because...
First reconnaissance mission into Cardassian space since the Dominion's retreat.
And suddenly, everyone in the bar...
make it back anyway.
Oh, yes, good point. Good point. Okay, I love that you have the technology too. Yes. Odo asks Quark what's going on, and he's just complaining that...
Bunch of self-satisfied Starfleet officers just stole my audience.
And that happens all the time, because this is season 6 of Deep Space Nine. They're on a war footing with the...
They're in the middle of the Dominion War.
Yeah. And so there's the small story and the large story. The small story is, of course, that Quark feels unimportant, but there's also a bit of, like, cultural, like a sense of maybe inferiority is not the word I'm looking for, but like that Ferengi values are not considered magnificent by other cultures.
Yes.
Whereas they totally are to him.
Oh, yes, I can see that. And that is a thing that kind of comes back a little bit in the episode later, that, they are, rather than going on a commando attack mission, they go on a Ferengi mission, which is...
Yes, play to your strengths, which you always should do.
We make it a commercial... We try to make it a commercial transaction.
Like the rules of asymmetric conflict, it's the job of the less, resource-rich party to try and like create a playing field where they can excel.
Yeah. Quark gets a message from one of the other waiters that there's a call from the Grand Nagus, and like, I should send him some syrup because he loves the stuff.
Yep.
It's like kissing up to the planetary leader, I suppose, the Grand Nagus is.
Yeah, kind of.
Very accessible to normal people, I guess I guess it helps that he's shagging his mother, Quark's mother. That.
What if there's only like 19 people on all of Ferenginar?
Possible, unlikely, but possible.
Right.
I mean, who's unlikely? I mean, like we've already seen so many other
Now you go
Ferengi.
hide, and I'll search for you.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yeah, a
That's
dubious responsibility, isn't it?
Play a game of hide and go yourself.
Yeah, because yeah, it's such a great scene because Quark goes to find Rom, who's very excited to see his brother.
Yeah.
While he's working in one of the station's Jeffrey's tube, and yes, now you go hide and I'll search for you.
Yes, he's getting back to Quark. It's like you can hear from the way he's saying it. He has no intention of doing that. It's just
But Quark has bad news because
My mother's been taken prisoner by the Dominion.
Moogie.
we don't really learn an awful lot about how or what. Just that she wasn't a transport freighter, which was captured, and now she is held prisoner. Nothing about anybody else on that freighter.
No, that's a good point. Just her. Oopsie doodle. Yeah. I guess for the Quark and for the Ishkaelites, as I think I've called them,
Yes.
as the children of the tribe of Ishka are called, it makes sense that they'd be focused on just the one person.
Right. But,
And for the Nagus as well, like he wants them to rescue her.
Yeah.
See, originally it was written with the Nagus in mind as the kidnappee, but then Wallace Shaw was unavailable, and
yes.
every Ferengi that shows up here has been on the show before in some form or another. Like, I think the only one that didn't have speaking lines before was Lek, who just like walked out of the Nagus's office as Quark was walking in, but he was there.
Ah, yes.
And that turns out to be the total psychopath that nobody knows how to deal with.
Yes.
I have responsibilities, and my responsibilities don't want me to die.
I don't want to die either. So let's just concentrate on the reward the Nagus is offering.
Reward?
50 bars of cold-pressed latinum.
50 bars.
And she was off to Vulcan, of all places, to have a load lift, I believe.
Yes, exactly. And
I had no idea
That she was so vain?
that the Nagus could be so generous.
okay, that's pretty judgy.
Yeah. Also, we learned that Ferengi get to be pretty old. Because, like, her lobes haven't been this firm in a century.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, or maybe that's subjective Ferenginese years that might be shorter than Earth years, but they never do that. No, you're right. You're right there. I kind of love that. Like, if you want to get an ear job, you go to Vulcan because they know about ears.
Good point. And I hadn't really considered that, but yes, you're totally right. Yeah, that's. That had not occurred to me. Yeah, very good.
I wonder if maybe like their sort of ear shape is kind of a. I don't know, maybe that's a cultural expression?
Could be, yeah.
I know like some cultures do various body modifications to accentuate.
Oh, I mean, on the other hand, it seems kind of weird, like, because, like, Vulcans, Vulcan's vain. That vanity doesn't sound like a Vulcan trait, or at least not.
Yeah, well...
You know, you'd have to get some good reasons to, like, have your ears done. And
I don't know.
reasons.
Yeah. Hold on. This is, I think, a continual misrepresentation of the Vulcans by themselves, like claiming that logic is everything.
Yes.
No. Logic is a tool which you apply to a value system. Now, that value system, that's where you can really sort of mess with things. Because, like, Tuvok, what's his morning sort of grooming routine like?
No idea.
I bet it's like an hour and a half and like inspecting individual follicles and like deciding on the specific tilt of eyebrow that he's going to be wearing today. You know, he does meditation. How am I feeling? How am I going to express that? Okay, left one just a little bit higher. Yeah.
Oh, you
nice.
think he paints them on every morning?
Absolutely. Or he, like maybe he sort of activates and deactivates follicles just to get the right shape. Because you know he irons his uniform.
Sure, yeah.
Him and Worf are the only two Starfleet officers who own an iron and they insist on nothing else. Oh, and Nog now as well.
Oh, yes, because he was taught not to do that by his boot.
As a joke, and he didn't realize
exactly.
it. Okay, so now the Ishkalites are climbing through the Jeffries tube.
We don't have a walk and talk, we have a crawl and talk.
Okay, why? Why are they going through these tubes?
Because, I don't know, they wanted to set up the joke for popping into Cisco's office.
Yeah, but that was so. Yeah, they have this conversation where Quark is trying to convince Rom to go with him, and they accidentally poke into
Cisco's office. Well, the reason that they
have a stop, so they get out of one tube, then they're in a hallway.
Yeah.
They climb into another tube, and then they accidentally wind up with
wind up in the captain's office. Yes.
who says,
"May I help you, gentlemen?"
who's just so cool
Yeah.
about suddenly
Some people
two
just popping out of a...
Ferengi heads. And Rom says,
I was following you.
and they both back out.
Wrong turn.
Yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, all right. Apparently so, yeah. Should have not taken that left turn at Albuquerque.
Yeah, but like, why were they doing this? They've been through 3 tunnels.
I don't know. I mean,
Do you think
clearly...
they maybe do this all the time?
Well,
That
no,
just
it was
faster?
It was because Quark was looking for Rom.
Yes.
And he found him somewhere in the station.
Exactly.
And now they're on their way back. And, that's...
And they're just more comfortable crawling through the Jeffries.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, that's just, I don't know where they want to go. Like, maybe they have to do that. I don't know. Maybe it's quicker. Maybe the turbo lifts are down again in the upper pylon 3.
I love it.
It's...
I just love it because you're so in this scene, because it's a very important scene where Quark's trying to convince Rom to go on this crazy mission to rescue their mother from the Dominion on behalf of the leader of their planet, and like gradually getting Rom on board, that you just don't really notice. There's no fucking reason why they're in those tunnels.
Yeah.
But then Rom has an idea.
We could put together a commando team. Gather the toughest mercenaries we can find. Nausicaans, Vreen, Klingons.
And that's where Quark's sort of arc really sparks. Quark's arc sparks.
Quark, arc, spark.
Mm-hmm. The spark of Arc's Quark. Because now he sort of twitches again. Okay, so we need to get people who are better than Ferengi. No, fuck that.
We're just going to do it with Ferengi. Just
Yeah.
Ferengi. Only Ferengi. And we're going to spend...
With hookers and blow.
Yeah. And they're going to split the 20 bars of latinum that the Nagus has offered them as a fee.
But the Nagus said 50.
As far as anyone else is concerned, you said 20.
They try to get Noggin, who says, like...
Not me.
Exactly. No, because I'm an officer now, and I can't just go ahead and go do this.
But you know how to fire a phaser.
Forget it, Ron. Don't beg.
And yeah, well, but what if we make you strategic operations officer?
You mean like Commander Wolf?
Yes, that's the one. Okay, well, he gets him in there. So that's easy enough. 3 people. They do the finger thing, like 2, 3.
Oh, yeah. Where's that from? I had notes about that.
You mentioned it earlier. It was from another show where they... I think it's actually from the Magnificent Seven.
Oh, is it?
Where they literally do that. Yeah.
Oh.
They start recruiting outside the station. So none of the waiters apparently are going to make the cut. They're not going to get any of the Ferengi waiters on board, but they call an eliminator.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird because, like...
What's an eliminator?
Yeah, what do you think an eliminator is? Yeah. And he's just, this guy that they're calling is just sort of sitting there with a knife.
Yeah, which he's kind of using a electronic device, I guess, to sharpen his knife. It's like the classic thing where someone's sitting there like whetstone scraping their knife, except he is using like something that would not look misplaced in sickbay.
Yeah.
So he's just like, I guess he's like putting an edge, he's edging his knife. But he's a very uncharacteristic Ferengi because...
I don't care about Latin.
Rom has almost apoplectic...
See, but it hits him kind of softly, right? Because he also doesn't care about Latinum as much as he knows he ought to. But they get Lek, who's an eliminator, on board because he'd like the opportunity to test his mettle against the Dominion. Yeah.
Should be quite a challenge.
The next one is Quark's cousin.
Yeah.
How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah.
Despite having been arrested on Thalos 6, is now in a jail cell on DS9.
No, not DS9. Look, there's an establishing shot of a different starbase.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I think that was famously one that appeared in Star Trek The Wrath of Khan. Actually, I think, yes, if this is the one I'm thinking of, then it was Starbase 1 in the motion picture, then turned upside down, the regular one in The Wrath of Khan. Then it appeared as the Caretaker array with some additional stuff, and we most recently saw it in the Omega Directive. This exact shot was like the blasted out, you see how it's got the hangar?
Yes.
They photoshopped in some blast patterns.
Oh, very nice, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's always nice to see how stuff like that's get reused and redone and...
Yeah, certainly in the model eras and the kit bashing.
You see it also in lots of other props. Yeah, for those of you who are familiar with Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, there's quite a few things in there that, like the jacket is that the Dr. Horrible wears is one of the medical uniforms from Firefly.
Oh, very good.
Just freeze ray is the same.
Not an ice ray.
Yes,
a
freeze ray. Yes, it's the same gun that is used by the men with the blue hands in also from Firefly, but it's held upside down.
Oh.
Of course, I mean, it was Nathan Fillion and his crew who were working on that.
Yes, Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog.
If you've not
I
seen
think
it, yes, go see it. It's fantastic.
it's the product of a writer's strike.
Yes, they were just like sitting around, nothing to do.
Yeah, we
And they were
don't have
just like,
jobs.
What do we got? Well, we've got access to the backlot, which is very obvious where most of the outdoor shots are made.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they went like, yeah, okay, let's make a musical thing. And then they found out that Neil Patrick Harris can actually sing.
No, they didn't just find that out. No, dude had a career on Broadway for a decade before he started.
So they went and made his part really difficult. Because Fillion's part, not so much. But
No, he gets to sort of hang out with his big gloves and his t-shirt and singing lines like, "This is so nice. I might have sex with the same girl twice. They say it's better the second time. They say you get to do the weird stuff. We do the weird stuff." Which I know, having not even listened to it yet, the chief just edited himself harmonizing with you, and I'm so glad that he did.
Cocky, this isn't even fair, because as soon as you said that, I was like, okay, no, I have to do this, I have to sing along with it, and then you called me out, because you knew that I couldn't resist this, and so you called me out here. Cocky, you make me break my whole flow for editing, because I normally don't record this stuff until I am, like, done my first pass, but you have me riled up, because at this point it's like, no, Cocky, you don't get to tell me how I'm gonna edit this, but it's just so perfect. What do you expect from me? What do you expect from me, Cocky? I had to sing along with you. I love you guys. I love you guys.
so, yes, he offers...
Cousin Gala, yeah.
They offered to basically, they'll get him out if he...
Quark paid is fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, what do you need to do? Well, we're going to fight the Dominion, or...
I mean, he doesn't even put it like that. Like, Gala asks, what do I have to do in return?
Earn some Latinum.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
Yeah. Nog, sorry, not Rom,
Yeah.
gets to do his best impersonation of a drill sergeant, walking up and down the bar, trying to sound very much like his instructors at Starfleet.
Everything in order.
You may now examine the schematic.
I was told this by a couple of people who've been in various branches of various militaries, and that, like, the main experience as a cadet or as a new recruit, or, you know, the entry sort of training period,
Abject terror?
time management.
Oh, right, yes.
That every, like, minute and second is accounted for, including leisure time.
Right.
To get, like, this extreme rigidity and specificity, but also build up tolerance for just long stretches of boredom with nothing to do.
Right, hurry up and wait.
Yeah, exactly. I believe the standard rule set, as my uncle explained it to me, is if it moves, salute it. If it doesn't move, lift it. If you can't lift it, paint it.
Yeah.
So they have a crew of Ferengi, and Nog is trying to whip them into shape, but it's not very successful, because at the first question, he tries to affirm that we should be addressing each other as sir, which is misunderstood.
Oh, no need to stand on formality here. Just call me Lek.
Yes.
Yeah, no. So we can already see the difficulty that Ferengi have working together, which, now that I'm sort of seeing this through the lens of Quark's idea of redeeming his culture in the face of other cultures that, you know, have taken more primacy. Yeah, this is one of their biggest challenges. It's hard to get things done together when everyone's
just trying to look out for their profit. Yes.
Yeah, hard, but not impossible.
And even then, like, all the people in on this aren't actually in it for the profit. No.
Okay. Oh,
His
yeah.
cousin is, you know, repaying a debt, which I guess is, you know, in it for the profit. But the Eliminator is there because he wants to prove himself.
Yeah.
Same with Brunt, who actually shows up at this point. Because
yes, surprising everyone.
The scheme almost falls apart when they realize that they don't have a ship. But
yeah, we'll get one. Well, how?
We'll find one.
Where?
I don't know.
Yeah, great plan.
A child, a moron, a failure, and a psychopath. Quite a little team you put together.
The whole discussion that breaks out kind of can be surmised by Quark's question.
What do you want, Brunt?
Yeah, and the answer is,
I'm here to sign up.
okay. He's heard that there's this mission to rescue the lover of the Nagus, and he thinks that getting in the Nagus' good graces.
Yes, because he is an ex-liquidator, and he wants to get back in. I mean, I guess he does that successfully later when, he works himself up to the position to be the next Grand Nagus.
I guess.
When the current one is being discredited after his leniency with Mookie comes to light.
Because everyone here hates ex-liquidator Brunt, and they soundly reject his offer, and he says, fine, then...
I'll just get in my ship and leave.
Did you say ship?
All right, six
in.
we are. All right, cut 2. They're on a daring assault to rescue Moogie from the Jem'Hadar, and they are being killed left, right, and center.
Yeah,
they lose.
Yeah. They're in a cave. They're overwhelmed. They lose their weapons. Some of them surrender.
One of them shoots Moogie.
Yes, which is
Don't shoot! I surrender!
and after like the entire team is wiped out, Nog freezes the holoprogram, reset the Jem'Hadar, and Rom, bless his heart.
I think we're getting better.
I mean, he always. No, it's the 8th time they've run it through, and you haven't killed a single Jem'Hadar.
But we all died sooner this time.
You're all rubbish. Yes.
And even Lek, they ask him, you shot her. Yes. Well,
I saw we weren't going to rescue her, so I put her out of her misery.
Which is, him being the psychopath is
it's considerate, actually.
I mean, it's in character, it's
in a way. And so a dejected Quark goes back to his bar, lamenting to Rom that this is never going to work.
Well, this is actually the scene which you were referring to on earlier. Basically showing Quark's motivation, how he was just in his own words.
And to think, just a few short days ago, I was sitting on top of the world.
King of Squill.
Yeah.
And because that is apparently being a bar owner means that you can occasionally drag some stuff out and expect everybody in your bar to listen to you as you wax on lyrically about your own achievements a little. Yeah.
He's a showman.
Yeah.
It's Quark. He always has been. Even for a Ferengi, he dresses flamboyant because he likes the attention. He likes being, being in the center of the business.
Yeah. Showing what a good, cunning tradesman he is. And look at this thing that I've procured at great difficulty, and now I'm going to charge you through the nose for it.
Yeah, both of which he's proud of,
yes.
And all of which he fully expects to be appreciated for, and it's unfortunate for him that not that many people on DS9 actually appreciate his particular form of excellence.
But this is where Rom figures it out, because we're not commandos, we're negotiators. And so why don't we play to our strengths?
We make deals.
Yep.
The Dominion has something we want, so we need to find something they want.
And then we make a trade.
Yeah, and this is what Ferengi are great at.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Humans are relatively poor negotiators in comparison.
Sure.
Let's stay in fiction, right? Because you generally only get really good at things that you do a lot.
True.
So someone who does something more often is generally going to be better at it.
That makes sense, yeah.
Right?
So,
and for Ferengi, everything in their entire life is a negotiation, a transaction, haggling.
And their afterlife.
Yes, exactly. They never stop doing it, so of course they're going to be excellent at it.
Yes. So excellent, in fact, that something entirely baffling happens here. And it's not a warp, it's not a core breach, but it's maybe a little bit of a plasma vent.
I was going to ask you, because there is now a scene in Cisco's office with Kira.
And it's okay, so the Federation agrees to let go a prisoner of war.
Yes.
In order to trade it back for a civilian from the Ferengi's not part of the Federation, are they?
No, true, but since the Dominion War, Ferenginar has become a more important partner of the Federation.
True.
Because they have one of the most robust economies, which is valuable. And like they already have trade routes, or they had trade routes into the Gamma Quadrant before the Federation did. So the Ferengi as a polity are valuable to the Federation. So doing a personal favor to the Nagus.
But don't they know that? Is that what is being brought at?
So it's Kira who convinces Cisco to accede to...
Consider it payback, Quark, for rescuing me
That
from
sounds
the
a
Dominion.
personal favor. So again,
Exactly.
Kira, who is not Starfleet, manages to...
She convinced Cisco to talk to Starfleet on Quark's behalf.
Okay, yeah.
And like that must have been quite compelling. Or maybe there was a whole series of favors. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, new headcanon.
Yeah.
It was easy. Starfleet Intelligence has a list of like prisoners that they're willing to exchange because they've been debriefed to exhaustion and they're just used up and there's no point in having them anymore, with a monetary value, or essentially like will trade for equivalent in first or second degree heir of a monarchy of at least 4 planets, right? And it was an easy deal, but Cisco's making it look like a bigger deal because that's how you deal with Ferengi.
Sure, yes. Okay, yeah, I'll take that.
Because Quark's really, really grateful.
We have a little shot of Brunt's ship, which is a typical Ferengi shuttle.
It's so crowded in there.
Described it as a tick before. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it's crowded, but that's because they're only in the front part. The back part is the cargo hold, because of course it is. It's a Ferengi ship.
It could be a shuttle.
Right.
Oh, you don't know.
Well, no,
but
it's pretty big, because you can see how wide it is compared to the ring of the station.
that might all be engines. I don't know, but like...
This isn't a ship. It's a closet. You don't like it here? Leave.
And they almost do.
Yes, they do. But as the bickering continues, Quark comes in with Kevin, who is the rather put upon... What's his name again?
Vorta.
That's the one, yes.
Whom we know from Rocks and Shoals, an excellent episode of DS9 where he's the injured leader of a troop of Jem'Hadar, whom he winds up betraying in exchange for his own life.
Right, because it turns out that, which we learn here, is...
You don't seem to be too happy at the prospect of rejoining your people.
Believe me when I tell you I have nothing to be happy about. Vorta is supposed to commit suicide when they're captured. I failed to follow that rather harsh policy.
Yeah.
And something that he neglected to do.
Yes, he neglected that rather harsh policy.
Yes. But he's like, he's very chill about the entire thing. He's like...
I think he's my favorite Vorta. Which
why.
I know has a lot of competition with, someone who's coming up shortly, and of course, Jeffrey Combs, but there's something ethereal about him. And the actor here is Michael Shea. I said Michael Shea. We had Christopher Shea as Kevin, who was in a few episodes of Star Trek. I think he was in... He played a lot of Aliens. Hey, I want to tell you about some more of this casting. Obviously, you have Jeffrey Combs as Brunt.
Yeah.
Cecily Adams as Ishka. Primarily a casting director.
All right.
She served as casting director for like Third Rock from the Sun and that 70s show. Obviously, the upcoming Vorta that we're about to see... We've got Hamilton Camp as Lek. Oh, yes, he also played Vrelk. He was one of the Malon in Extreme Risk.
Oh, okay.
So I've seen him before. And my favorite is Josh Pace as Gala, who played Raphael in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film from 1990. Wow. The only actor to both wear the costume and also voice his character.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Good old Raph. The smart one.
Which weapon did Raph have?
Raph
Is
has...
he the smart one? I can never tell them apart.
Raph has the bow staff, I think. I think Leonardo has the katana.
Yes, that sounds right.
Raphael has the bow staff.
Or does Michelangelo?
Or is he just,
no, that's Mikey. Mikey has the sai.
Mikey has the nunchucks, doesn't he?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And then,
then Bucephalus?
No, Raph. No, wait. Raph is the strong one, not the...
Right.
Raph is the red one. So I think
nunchucks, sais,
staff, and katana. Yeah. And I know Mikey
and knuckle dusters. I think Bucephalus has the knuckle dusters.
Anyway, wrong show.
You're not going to play with my extended fiction where there are 5 and one of them's called Bucephalus?
I don't know who Bucephalus is.
I don't know either. It's just fun to say.
Okay. Sorry, I thought like I was missing a reference to a particular.
I was trying
Renaissance
to find
painter.
another Renaissance painter,
Right.
and nothing came into my brain except
Sure.
the word Bucephalus, which may or may not be the name of the dog steed of the little dog knight in Labyrinth.
No, that is.
That's not it, is it?
Sir...
Yeah,
oh,
sir.
sheesh.
Who then yells "charge" with
Yeah.
this trusty little mustachioed dog steed.
I should know this. I know who this character should be.
The chief has been screaming it over us.
Yes, I know. Oh, it's like
It's still going on. The chief is if only we could hear him.
Crikey.
I can hear the vibrations of his voice through the membrane.
Oh no, it won't come to me. Oh well.
Once again, you guys are making me just break my whole flow of how I normally edit things because I could not stand for this. I could not stand for this. So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Leonardo is blue with the katanas. He's the leader. Donatello is purple with the bow staff. He's the science one. Michelangelo has the nunchucks. He's the orange. He's the goofball. We love Mikey. Raphael is the angry one. He has the sigh. There was a female one, Venus de Milo, that she appeared first in the TV show The Next Mutation as well as in the comics in 1997. However, Kaki, I have to say I'm surprised you're not going with the Dutch painter of Hieronymus Bosch, like the fifth or the sixth, I guess, Hieronymus, whose weapon is just nightmarish paintings, just painting horrors that just terrify the Foot Clan into running away. Like, let's just imagine Hieronymus Bosch like drawing a turtle. Like, let's imagine that little bit of nightmare fuel there for a second now. Yeah, let's think about that. Anyway, I had to set the record straight because like it was so wrong. It was so wrong that it was just driving me crazy. So it's like, no. Had to set the record straight on the Turtles lore here. I had to.
Thanks for setting us right, Chief. So, yes, a quick trip to the station, which we know it's abandoned because it's tilted at an angle.
Yes, and it has a sort of different background. This is Empok Nor, which is, of course, a reuse of the DS9 studio model, but they do a couple of clever things. Not only do they tilt the camera, they also tilt the angle of the light that comes in. So it's lit differently. It's casting shadows on itself.
It's kind of lit from a background, little nebula type thing, which looks particularly odd. We see more of it later. Actually, we see it better later. But yes, there's a quick little thing where the Ferengi pile out of the shuttle onto the shuttle, and let's head for base camp, which...
It's the infirmary.
Uh-huh.
The Nog tries to get everybody going there, but yes, he fails to...
He's got the energy up. I like
Oh,
that.
totally.
Come on, let's move it! On the double!
But Quark knows how to motivate Ferengi soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
2 slips of Latinum for the first man who makes it to the infirmary.
Everybody scrambles, fighting over each other, trying to get there first. Because, yes, 2 strips of latinum, that's what it is.
You don't pay your soldiers to do their duty.
You do if they're Ferengi.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, does that just mean that, like, Ferengi soldiers just get paid a very... Kind of like, I guess, like, Ferengi soldiers are like restaurant workers in the United States. They get underpaid on their base pay, and they're expected to make it up in tips.
Oh... Oh, I wonder if it's maybe more like there used to be, historically, a lot of armies were primarily mercenaries. Right? Standing armies are expensive. You don't need them very often.
True.
And we're talking about like feudal eras here, right? So you'd not only be paid by sort of days, but also particular actions.
Right, yeah.
And particular duties being performed. Like cannoneer was one of the best paid, but also least survivable jobs.
Right, yes.
But you only get paid at the end if you...
And as Lord Vetinari says, it's like the problem with mercenaries is that you have to pay them to start fighting, and if you're unlucky, you have to pay them to stop as well.
Sick Discworld reference there, bro. But yeah, so maybe that's the case here, that they have, a very low base fee, but then for,
exactly
a charge, right? Going through the charge is like 15 strips plus 2 strips if there's a minefield of at least 1 kilometer in between, and everyone's just doing accountancy the whole time.
Yeah. But they set up in the infirmary.
Yeah, immediately.
Some of this medical equipment is still functioning.
Getting so excited. Oh,
we can sell that.
But that'll come up later, that they've got medical functioning.
Oh yes.
I love this episode. We're going through it so slowly, but there's so many good bits. Tana, this was a great recommendation. Thank you so much.
They try to figure out what's going on. But the first sign that things are wrong is when we see 4 body bags, which turns out to just be the way Ferengi sleep with the little...
I know! It looks so weird. We got this shot of Empok Nor, and then, 4 body bags, but apparently Ferengi just completely cover themselves with their blankies.
Yeah. They're screaming in the background, and then suddenly, wait, what's that? Like...
oh my God.
It's that weird, they do have a weird way of screaming, Ferengi. But
That's Gala.
it was him who was supposed to be guarding the prisoner.
And instead of guarding, Gala also took a nap.
I couldn't help it. I was tired. I couldn't get any rest on the ship.
And then we get a series of running shots.
A bit of almost like a door comedy where people are running through corridors, knocking over things, going left, going right, trying to find out where he is. Like, they figure that he must have made...
They're making a straight shot.
Yeah.
They know exactly where to go, which helps us sort of recognize the layout of the ship, because we know which doors they cross through, because you see Quark doing it first, and then there's these barrels, and then we see the other soldiers coming past them. I love these jeeps. And the result is, the ship is still there. Going someplace?
Apparently not.
Kevin is sitting there with his hand still cuffed, trying to work the orb. But no, it's not, and he can't get away, and...
That's because I had Rom disengage the induction matrix.
Then why did you bother chasing me?
Because sometimes my brother gets things wrong.
Fair. Although, I mean, when it comes to technical stuff, Rom is very reliable.
Oh, yeah.
That's
the master of the Jugard. But the alarm goes off.
Yep, and we have another series of shots of them running through through the corridors again.
And they're going at a clip.
Oh, yes.
Like, this is something that I really appreciate whenever I see it in a film or TV show, when someone's actually going for it.
Yes.
Because you can, like those of us who aren't super physically fit, you can do that once or twice, but you've still got like loads of ATP in your muscles. And then...
But if you're doing that scene for the fourth take or the fifth take, it becomes a little bit less... energetic. You can see it. I mean, you can even see it in the Take Me to the Holosuite episode, where you can see the running becomes in certain shots. You go like, they're not really running full clip. You know, even even the Vulcans, who were, I believe, as you told me, professional baseball players who were brought in for. Even them, you can see them doing almost a bit of like a stage run when he's trying to like escape Nog.
Oh yeah, because
yeah.
Otherwise he'd outrun him so easily.
Right. Yeah.
So everybody runs back, including Yelgren, and they sort of huddle in the safety of the little drugs nook.
Yep.
I think that is not. Oh no, it's not quite the apothecary.
It's somewhere. It's like a few doors down into sickbay, and they sit there. They look at each other.
Now what?
Yeah.
Why are we hiding? There are Jim and Dar out there. Of course they're out there. We asked them to come.
Of course. Of course they're here.
We asked them to come.
Yeah, he's right.
Oh, wait, right, yeah.
Everything's going according to plan.
Yeah, we just got so... we just made the mistake of setting an alarm.
We terrified. Yeah, we panicked. And no, wait, everything's going to plan. Excellent.
Yeah, that sudden realization is such a fantastic comedic moment. Because we're totally with them. Of course, oh shit, Jem'Hadar. Why are they here? Yeah, we fucking called them, and this was our plan. Oh, okay.
Quark gets nominated to go outside and talk to them.
But it's Nog who volunteers, who peeks through the doors and sees a whole bunch of Jem'Hadar standing on the upper level of the promenade, usually his spot with Jake, but...
Yep, he knows where it is.
We must get back to the ship. Our only hope is to escape.
We're not going anywhere. Not without Moogie.
They decide to, almost against their own will at this point, to go ahead with the plan.
Yep. Because it's scary now. Because there's a new Vorta voice.
Yes.
Who doesn't like to be kept waiting.
Quark actually does it.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think this is going to be... Yeah, exactly. Oh, my God. Are we going to build a soundboard out of this? I sure hope not.
But yes, he walks flanked by Rom and Nog.
Oh, that's
and he's
cool.
Yeah, he's got his like hand on a handheld phaser, and the other two are carrying a rifle-sized phaser.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And you get all these close-ups as they're sort of regarding the situation and nodding at each other. They're such studs.
And on the other side of the promenade, we see the Jem'Hadar, two of them, with the Vorta and Moogie.
Yeah.
My boy.
Oh, no.
We did it again, yes.
This is the downside, yes. We can't crossfade between these two devices because my technology is not clever enough.
Yes.
It's okay, Cocky, because that's what I'm here for, so I can make your technology work for you and sound better than it actually did. So here's what you're attempting to do.
Moogie. My boys.
So, there's a Volta who is played by, come on.
Iggy Pop!
Yes.
What a touching and heartfelt reunion.
I thought he was like, do you think he was trying to sound a bit like Spock here? Because it felt like he really, his delivery was really very much like Leonard Nimoy.
Wow.
At least that's how it appeared to me.
Be. See, like Ira Steven Behr, this was a many years dream to get Iggy Pop in a role. Like I think there was another role where he originally wanted him for, but then the scheduling couldn't be made to work out. And finally, they got him on the show. But then he sort of grumbled because a lot of Iggy Pop's sort of charm and like persona comes from his physicality.
Yeah, and
the Vorta are these static enigmas. So we got this amazing physical performer, and we put him in like one of the least mobile species that we've got. But he still does a lot.
Oh, yes. He is like a bit of a sarcastic bastard.
Gripping in smarm, but also that's quite charming.
Yes, but I mean, that's all Vorta, basically. They're always extremely conceited and...
But also, like, really obsequious, and they have a charm about them.
Oh, yes. Totally.
And a magnetism that I find Kevin, it really hits it for me, that specific energy that he's got.
There are some negotiations, mainly about how, I mean, that trade is going to be Keegan for Mookie is very clear. That's already been established. So the only thing that is still being talked about is the negotiations of how it's going to go down. Yeah. And this is where Quark really steps in.
Yes.
And he takes control of the situation. Because he just like starts putting out demand after demand.
What kind of assurances?
It's like, those guys up there, they're gone.
That would leave me in a very vulnerable position.
Your ship, also gone.
That would leave me stranded here.
You are going to stay here with 2 Jem'Hadar.
The 2 Jem'Hadar is sort of like a haggling back. Like, it makes you feel safer. Keep those
keep
2.
Them, yeah.
I feel safer already.
Yeah. You should. I mean, those 2 Jem'Hadar are probably easily capable of taking on all the Ferengi, as we saw in the holodeck simulation.
In fact, all of them can. But their threat is...
You attack the infirmary, and Kevon will be the first to die.
Kevon's fate has already been sealed.
Maybe. But before he dies, I'll bet you'll want to know what Dominion secrets he's revealed to the Federation.
Exactly. Which is, a good point. It's also very ruthless of Quark that he is willing to, sell Keegan to what he knows will be a very unpleasant experience and death.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, it's...
Yeah?
Yeah, no, just saying.
Do you have expected him to care? I mean...
No.
Kevon is, he's one of the bad guys.
True. Yeah, but also the Federation doesn't care, because the Federation also knows this. And they're just not above trading a, prisoner of war, which they know will be executed when he gets back to his...
They don't per se know that, but yes, you're right. If they do know that, then that's not okay. Then again, they are just repatriating a citizen.
Right. It's
nothing wrong with repatriating a citizen. Oh, no, in this current climate of vitriol against the people who have it hardest in the world, gosh, I don't even want to joke about it.
No. So there's a little bit of talk. Nog gets suspicious, like, oh, how do we know it's not a changeling and that it's actually Mookie? But there's a little bit of...
Knock off, you little snot!
Yes!
That
sounds like Mookie. Manages to stab her, like, oh, no, that's blood.
Yeah. And she starts beating him back and
grabs him by the lobe, smashes him on the head.
Now let's see if you're a changeling.
That's no way to tell if he's a changeling.
Yeah, you're right.
Bring that.
Give me that knife.
I don't think so.
Yes.
And here we get a Yelgren, who's this Vorta, actually sort of gives the Ferengi their dues.
Your people have a reputation for cunning. I see that it's well earned.
He's being sarcastic.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, because Vorta are always a little bit sarcastic.
True, yeah.
But also, game recognized game.
True, yeah.
Vorta are also constantly negotiating, politicking. That's what they've been genetically designed for by their gods as they consider the founders.
Right, yes.
it seems to be the cornerstone of their cultural value system. We don't know anything about their culture because we don't see Vorta interacting with each other.
No, we only see them as being in charge of the Jem'Hadar, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they themselves are cloned.
Jem'Hadar handlers. But yes, the agreement is made back in half an hour. But yeah, one more thing. It's like when they're like laving pity upon the Vorta for like...
Family. You understand.
Not really. I was cloned.
What Nog says. Sorry, Rom.
No parents? That explains a lot.
No parents, no sweetheart, no investment portfolio.
Ah, there you go. Okay,
That's the last part. No investment portfolio. So yes, half an hour later, everybody is celebrating, laughing, like, we did it, we pulled it off.
Yeah, and they're all so happy. They're all laughing. Let's see if that sound effect did actually make it. Yeah!
You should have seen my brother. He was brilliant.
Yeah,
and
he's proud about Quark as usual.
And they sort of reminisce about Ferenginar and like, oh...
Home to the torrential rains of Ferenginar.
Oh, to stand once more in those rivers of muck.
And they do a little bit of showing, like, let's do it for this, let's do it for that, and...
Let's do it for equal shares of 50 bars of gold pressed latinum.
Because Rom has let it slip that it's 50 bars instead of the 20 that it was.
And immediately their team falls apart.
Yes.
It's so good. Like, structurally, I love the way that this farce, because that's what it is.
Oh, yes.
Farcical comedy is set up. You get all these unexpected highs and these totally predictable lows following immediately.
But they managed to get it all together. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of...
managing to get it all together is really, really interesting because the conflict escalates to the point that Gala pulls a gun on Quark, who runs aside, shrieking.
Yes.
And
I hate Ferengi.
Keegan gets it in the chest.
Good
and
final
dies.
words. Good last words, you know.
And we get an iconic shot, an upward shot of like the 7 Ferengi looking down.
Yeah.
You idiot.
Because they've just managed to kill their hostage half an hour before the exchange that was so successful.
This is where the Chekhov's neural stimulator comes back into play. Because Nog is having a play around with that. Like, actually, Nog is checking him out. Like, yes, he's dead. It's like the machines here clearly tell me that it is dead, that he is dead.
And she's not merely dead, she's really quite sincerely dead. While Quark is failing to motivate the rest of his team to go back to Plan A, which is, commando rushing and not going home. And he even
How about we hide?
The Battle of Prexmac.
Yep.
Who could forget the most important battle in Ferengi history?
Because he's still horny for sort of proving Ferengi heroism and valor. And, at least some people are into it.
Quark's right. Let's do it for Ishka. Let's do it for Ferengis everywhere.
But while determining that Kevin is dead...
Yeah, Nog gets slapped in the face because, one of the neural stimulators gets his hand moving.
Uh-huh. And Rom is very impressed.
I never knew you studied medicine at the academy.
To which Nog replies with...
Yes.
I didn't. But if you think about it, medicine isn't that different from engineering.
Yes, it is! It's its own set of consequence and action interactions.
So basically, he gets to... he goes and meet puppets, Kevin.
Yeah. The plan is now to weekend at Bernie's him.
Yes, essentially they stick neural stimulators all over his body and he programs his tricorder that he can basically control him like that. Quark gets sent out to delay matters, yes.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
He starts just making one stupid excuse after the other.
Uh-huh.
Just like they have to scan, now bring me Kevin, but in a few months, it goes on forever, really.
No, not in a few minutes, now.
No, petulant.
I kind of like that. The way his delivery?
No. 5
Oh,
minutes.
sorry.
It's fine.
I didn't mean to click that, but
and we even get a little sort of bit of foreshadowing.
I thought the Breen were annoying.
Yeah.
Which we're not going to find out that the Dominion and the Breen have been fomenting an alliance until a little bit later. Like, this is actually
yes.
a valuable bit of intelligence.
Are the Breen the guys who were playing darts against each other in...
Those are Nausicaans.
That's what I read, Nausicaans, yes.
The Breen are also very tall and fierce and dangerous. We'll see more of them in the 7th season of DS9 when they've got their helmets on, and a lot more in the 5th season of Star Trek Discovery, where we also learn more about their culture. It's really, really fascinating.
Yes. Basically, he runs out of steam until Quark goes like... Yes.
More.
Yeah.
Let's do
Why am I not surprised?
Let's do the exchange outside airlock 3, because... that's closer to our ship, so it makes it easier for us to run away.
You understand.
Yeah.
But I must say your lack of trust saddens me.
Yeah, that's typical Vorta move. That sounds so much like Weyoun.
Yes. It's like, we're here to kill you and enslave you, but why don't you just trust us?
Yeah, we could do it nice.
Because that's going to.
But that's the thing with the Dominion. They have big sticks and also big carrots.
Sure, yes.
Right, because they're established as a polity that has existed for thousands of years in the Gamma Quadrant. Very successfully, very stably, in an environment where there are also like non-Dominion planets and Dominion planets. And like we've seen some terrible consequences having befallen planets that refuse the Dominion's advances, terrible diseases that they've been inflicted on us,
yes.
planetary punishment. But there have also got to be loads that are doing just fine.
Yeah. It's like you'll be fine as long as you listen and do your thing and meet your quota. And
yeah,
we cut to the corridor where it is now. Yes, Ishka, the Vorta, and two. I forgot their names again. Jem'Hadar, thank you.
And she's doing. I mean, she's a lot like Lwaxana would be if she'd been kidnapped.
Oh yes,
because she's just having a chat with whoever's nearby. And in Ishka's case, like, she's trying to get someone interested in Hippocat futures.
Buying some shares, yes.
Here, feel how smooth my head is.
Yeah.
Cream of Hippocat.
Yeah, and he actually sort of like, that is very smooth. Like,
you see, a diversified financial portfolio can mean greater profits and healthier looking skin.
I love his reply, though.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear more, but if your son doesn't show up soon, I'm afraid I'm going to have to kill you.
But don't you think he sounds like Spock here?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes.
I'd love to hear him. Just his delivery. It feels very much like Nimoy.
Spock did have. Yeah, he had a Bostonian accent, which I don't know is Iggy Pop's. Do you know what Iggy's short for, by the way?
No.
Iguana.
Iguana Pop. Okay.
Well, he played for his first band was the Iguanas.
Oh, right.
Isn't that cute?
I did not know that.
Do you think he actually wants to hear more?
Oh, well, I think he's just being smarmy again.
Let's just do it again.
I'd love to hear more, but if your son doesn't show up soon, I'm afraid I'm going to have to kill you.
You just never know with the Vorta, do you?
Right,
it's like,
exactly. Because he might actually be...
He could be genuinely interested.
Yeah.
But no, unfortunately, my duty means I'm going to have to kill you.
I'll
take your investment advice and...
Thank you for that, freebie. And now we get the Weekend at Bernie's scene, where the bridge of spies standing across from each other in the corridor.
Yes, it's like the very Cold War exchange of prisoners at Checkpoint Charlie.
Yeah, I'm just missing some like floodlights,
exactly,
and fog, and we release our prisoners on the count of 3. Yes, fine, get on with it.
And they see him stumble through the corridor, and I love the
What have they done to him?
He's probably imagining that like he was tortured and otherwise, and he's like left him as this husk of a man who is now.
Can't wait to find out about Federation torture methods. We haven't studied those yet. Let's vivisect him and find out what they did. Yeah.
There's a little bit of just a bit of confusion. It also goes fine really until he starts veering off course a little bit. Ishka steps around him rather deftly, but he steers himself into the wall, and this is when the Vorta realizes that things have gone south.
Oh no! Open fire! Because Kevin is just walking into the same corner over and over again.
Thud, yes. They actually quite quickly managed to eliminate the Jem'Hadar.
Yeah,
it
turned out this was an ambush.
Yeah. The door opens, more Ferengi pop out, do a little bit of shooting, killing basically everybody. The only one who's still, well, he's already dead as well. He's still walking into the wall.
Yeah.
It's like, can you, like, turn him off? This is, like, really creepy.
No, and they're laughing about it.
Yeah.
I can't. The transceiver is jammed.
Yes.
Oh, Quark.
Well, it's
the
so
Grand
grim.
Nagus is going to be so proud of you.
Yes.
Oh. And, like, they've won. Like, everything hasn't gone according to plan, and it never ought to. You know, in good television, you don't want the plan to go without a hitch. And they've got a spare Vorta.
Yeah, they actually managed to capture him. Again, he does not suicide as he was supposed to.
Yeah, I guess, you know, they're training their weapons on him to threaten him into not committing suicide. This is something that bothers me a little bit.
Yeah.
And, like, very often, like, having a gun is used as a shorthand for, like, having power over someone.
Right.
But increasingly, I'm becoming sensitive to, like, scenes where that just doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, you've established that someone has crucial information that you can't risk, but you're threatening them with a weapon in order to comply. I know you're not going to shoot me.
Well, you know, you got that scene in Firefly. It's like, doesn't the Bible have some very specific things to say about killing people?
Yes, but it's more vague on the topic of kneecaps.
There you go. Yes.
Ooh, kneecap injuries. Oh my gosh.
We'll take him with us. He'll be our gift to Starfleet. Give us a Vorta, we'll give them one.
And Ferengi.
I know. You hate us.
All right, you! Get moving!
But here we come again to the conclusion where... Because it's Rom who talks to...
How does it feel to be a hero?
Yeah.
And he asks him back.
You tell me.
Yeah. Because, like, look, you got to shine. And, like, Rom is terribly proud of his big brother, like he always is.
Yeah. And as he should be.
Yeah.
Because, like, Quark has excellent qualities that are definitely worthy of respect, and terrible qualities that are definitely worthy of prosecution to the fullest extent of, but in full accordance with the law.
Yes. Odo will see to that.
Exactly. Well, yeah. I mean, he hasn't yet. This is their idea of courtship. It's a very toxic form of relationship.
Right.
But, like, it feels good to be a hero, right?
Well, I mean, that's what...
You bet it does.
Yeah. One of the other Ferengi has something to say about the entire operation as well.
Well,
It's the sloppiest, most amateurish operation I've ever seen.
It's like, and yeah, if you ever want to do it again, call me.
Call me. Yeah, I loved it. He had a great time. Yeah, that's Lek, of course.
Yes.
The psychopath. Man. So I love this episode as a comedic master. Oh, do you want to do the music flourish? Yes, you do. You're the master of the sound effects.
Okay, I am. Okay,
Yeah.
so...
That's so satisfying to hear.
Yes.
Do you know what? I might re-export that. I'm hearing some encoding artifacts.
Oh, okay.
That we can
There's always a good chance of that, yes.
But yeah, like, if this is the redemption that Quark sought, not for his people, but for his pride in his people.
In the Ferengi way of doing things.
Yeah. He got everything he wanted, right? Not only did they succeed on their own terms, but when push comes to shove, they took out to Jem'Hadar.
Yeah.
But doing it like the Ferengi way.
Yeah, and he takes his 10 bars of Latinum finder's fee.
Yeah.
And then, yes, well, 40 bars over 7 people. That's like a little more than 6 each.
Yeah, that sounds
a little less
under.
than 6 each. Yeah, a little less than 6 each. But, you know, okay.
Ishka might throw in a tip. I don't know.
Likely.
Yeah, she'd probably take her finder's.
Right,
She'd probably take her cut.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have worked without me.
Exactly.
Oh, Ishka.
So there we go, yes.
Okay, so you're
okay.
the master
yeah.
of the
All right, so
now.
in that case, we get to the first of our post-show discussion segments.
Yes.
So fucking cool.
Who do you think was?
Oh, yeah, I'm not prepared for it. I didn't. Even while I was sort of waiting for you, it was like, oh, he's going to do such a good job. I can just sort of wait for him to do his job, and then, oh yeah, it's me. I think it's the Ferengi as a culture.
Okay.
Because yes, hugely sexist, hugely discriminatory, huge social problems. Fortunately, we have Ishka who's working on it, but she's just one woman, and a social revolution she does not like yet represent.
No. She will, but.
Yeah, as will Rom, in fact.
Oh yes, of course
as we see in Lower Decks, Rom and Lita play a significant role in the revitalization and revolution of Ferengi culture. But yes, I think just the Ferengi as a whole, because I think this is something that the beloved friend of the show, Rugger, mentioned before that Star Trek has, like many science fiction properties, a history of monocultures, right?
Yeah.
Defining a culture by a single trait. And that, especially in DS9, cultures like the Klingons, Romulans, and especially Ferengi get a lot more layers to them.
Mm-hmm.
And having 7 very different Ferengi. They all have different motivations.
Oh, yes.
Like, imagine if this were a human crew, right? Where you had someone who was previously your bully and would have been your executor, or
Right.
you know, someone who's literally tried to kill you, a family member, a psychopath. Would a human crew be able to function?
Oh, well,
Would they have been able to succeed, or would they have fallen apart for very different reasons? Now,
right.
Pure
Yeah.
speculation,
Yeah.
of course. But Ferengi can do this.
Because they just go, for profit.
Right. So they have a way to overcome problems that for humans, as we know them, aren't as readily available.
Right. Well, I guess or maybe they're just not problems for them, you know?
Oh, very good point.
Yes. Because it's like a lack of ego when it comes to certain things.
Yeah. Like grudges dissolve in the face of profit.
Yes. I mean, it's different. It's a clearly beautiful example of, depicting aliens as actual aliens. Having different motivations, different value system to judge them by.
Yeah. And like clearly successful as a culture. They're multiplanetary. They've been a polity for millennia at this point. So yeah, that my so fucking cool. I love the Ferengi and the complexity.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go for Iggy Pop.
Obviously,
as the unnamed Vorta. I don't think he's named.
Yelgren.
Is he named on screen? Because I was trying to look for his.
No, and Ishka says it as well.
Oh, okay, yes.
He's got you there, Yelgren.
Yeah. Because I love his delivery, his smarminess,
I know he's so patient and long suffering, and so.
But also, kind of like he exudes a bit of that. Confidence, overconfidence that Vorta always tend to have.
Yeah.
That they're always in charge and always on top of the situation, in control of the situation, I guess is what they do.
But
like,
subservient.
And I wasn't listening. What was that? It's like,
oh, what a great idea you've just had. Yes, let's go with your idea that you came up with on your own. And I haven't been priming and manipulating you for the last 45 minutes.
Yes. So yes, definitely my so fucking cool, which brings us to
Captain's Log Supplemental.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one.
I mean, mine is a direct follow-up. Like, as soon as they leave, airlock closes, and then the next airlock over opens. And just this crew of, like, low-level pirates, let's say it's the Serenity crew from Firefly, sort of walk onto Empok Nor, like, because that's where you do trades or you stash your stuff, and they see 2 dead Jem'Hadar and a Vorta just banging into the wall. What the fuck just happened?
It's basically the ship that is returning, which to come pick up.
No, I mean, just complete uninvolved third parties.
Oh, right.
Who just wander onto this. What the fuck happened here? They find Hippocat cream. So there were Ferengi here? Yeah. Ferengi did this? And the story balloons from there, and this becomes, the siege of Empok Nor. It becomes the new greatest battle in the history of Ferengi for another 1,000 years, because it's also probably the only battle in the last 1,000 years.
Yes, well, not ever since the last one, where 10 Ferengi got slaughtered by the hundreds of other ones, I think. Which is like proof that there's more than 17 Ferengi on Ferenginar. But there used to be.
Yeah, exactly. There used to be more than 17. How about you? What's your deleted scene?
My deleted scenes. I think it's like, I think it's going to be the scene where the Vorta is having a lengthy discussion with his first about the security precautions and how the first is like no, you can't trust these guys. They're devious. They're like, and he's just like, I'm just going to go stand here with 2 guys, and if they try anything, I'm going to shoot them. And it's
yeah.
Yeah, and the first is like, well, I really don't think it's a good idea, sir. And it's like, and the Vorta is just like, I know what I'm doing. I'm in charge here.
I've done this so many times.
Exactly.
It'll be fine.
And then we get the scene when the first returns back to the station and looks around and like, fucking told him, it's like, told him this was a bad idea.
Oh, I love that.
All right, so that leaves us coming up
Next time on an all-new episode of Star Trek.
Yeah, because we have a new recommendation, and as we mentioned, every time you can send in your own recommendations at joyoftrek.com/links. Go ahead and do it now. It's just a very simple little form. We want to hear from you about an episode that you love more than most. And thank you so much, Tana, for recommending it this time around. They made an excellent recommendation. We're so excited every time. And we really, really appreciate like the personal perspectives. So hit us up. We like new voices. And also, while you're there, there's also a little button for a Patreon if you're interested in getting some packs of GIFs from these episodes, which I think this one will yield
a good one. Yes.
A bountiful crop of reaction GIFs with my new font that I'm very proud of.
And and if you are your recommendation is selected, you might have an advantage in the next game that we're playing here. Which is, guess what the next episode is going to be? Because the chief has prepared some sound bites for us from the next episode, and we have to work out which it is.
Okay, so play along at home and see if you can recognize this first clue.
What the hell is Enterprise Bingo?
Enterprise. That sounds like.
Oh my god!
That sounds like.
It's Strange New Worlds.
Strange New Worlds.
What?
Oh,
you don't recognize Enterprise Bingo?
Oh, I thought it was going to. My first thought was going to be. It sounds like such a lower decks.
Oh, yes, it does. I'm sorry for ruining it.
That's fine.
I'm sorry. Here we go.
In of total honesty, I should probably tell you that I punched Barjan.
Okay.
Barjan, not totally
but
sure
Enterprise,
about...
you know what Enterprise Bingo is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What is Enterprise Bingo? Tell me what Enterprise Bingo is.
No, I'm not going to tell you what Enterprise Bingo is. We've got a whole episode coming up next week. Save it, right?
Oh, I know. Humans are almost as easy to tease as Vulcans.
Okay.
Sure they are.
Never get in the middle of a Vulcan relationship. They will hit you with a lirpa. Trust.
Okay, yeah, no. A slight correction there because the pronunciation is lirpa.
Right.
You want to get hit with a lirpa?
What is a lirpa?
Well, it's a Vulcan weapon, except Ortegas pronounces it with her.
Right.
Her
so this is
lovely...
this is going to be fairly early on when we have the romance between Spock and T'Pring.
T'Pring.
That's the one. Yes.
Yes. Very good. One more.
In Starfleet, I'm accepted for who I am. Half Vulcan, half human. I'm quite simply Spock.
Right. So it's one of those episodes. Is it the one with where they're having to do the courtship ritual where her parents are?
Oh no, it's the one before that.
Ah, okay.
It's the season one. They've done a sort of Spock Vulcan comedy of cultures episode every season. They did one in season 1, they did one in season 2. Just seen a preview for season 3 that is not universally beloved, and that there was a preview scene for season 3.
Yeah,
which seems to be one of in the line of these episodes where the principal bridge crew were given some kind of magical injection that turns them Vulcan.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, Pike's hair becomes ridiculously rigid, and they all get ears and eyebrows, and they stand up straight. And then instantly, they also become unemotional and really racist towards Spock for being half Vulcan.
Oh, wow.
You know, we'll beam up 5 Vulcans, 4 1/2, logically, which is very upsetting to a lot of people, justifiably so, because it sort of suggests that does culture come from a fucking ampule? Like, as I saw someone on Star Trek lesbian Twitter, I believe, say, I'll just inject someone with my Northern Hispanic serum and then they'll know how to make empanadas.
Ooh, yes. Yeah, no, I can see why that would be culturally problematic. Yes.
Sorry.
So we know.
This is not that episode.
Please run it by us.
The episode is Strange New Worlds 105, Spock Amok.
I can't wait for this one.
Very good.
I love this so much. And to bring such a great actress, and we're going to have such a good time. I can't wait to hear why it was recommended. Obviously, because it was brilliant.
All right.
I get so excited, Kate, sometimes.
Slow down, because we only have one more thing to do.
Oh?
I'm leaving Starfleet.
Energize!
We hope you've enjoyed this week's episode with your friends Kay and Kaki, production and editing by our chief engineer Greg, and music by Fox Amor. Join us next time for Spock Amok, Strange New Worlds 105. Visit joyoftrek.com/links to send us your recommendations, support us on Patreon, or to find us on Twitter. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for listening to The Joy of Trek, and we'll see you out there.